Welcome to Into the Blue, presented by Penelope Bourbon, a weekly look behind the scenes of the Tampa Bay Lightning with reporters Gabby Shirley and Ben Pierce.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Into the Blue. I'm Gabby Shirley, sitting alongside Ben Pierce. We are at Benchmark International Arena on this lovely Monday. Ben, we just got to start off with, how was your Christmas?
It was great. And actually, I'm sitting here and I'm looking up at the TV that's playing in the background, and I'm seeing 24 to 36 inches of snowfall predicted in my former hometown in Wisconsin. And I have to say that my Christmas just got a lot better knowing that they might be seeing some snow and I'm going to go home to 70 degrees. So as much as I love everybody back in Wisconsin, I did not miss the snow this Christmas. It was great. How was your Christmas?
It was the best. My family was in town, as I think I said in the last episode. Ben, I got to hand it to my husband and I think we were pretty good hosts.
Killed it.
My husband loves hosting. I'm the neurotic one that's like, nah, let's not do that. And my family's easy, but there were 5 of them. And then my husband's mom came over. So again, I think we did a pretty good job.
Okay, wait, we talked about the food. How was it chicken parmesan, is that right?
Yes.
How was it?
Well, it was always going to be great though, because my mom like was steering the ship on that.
Yep.
I was trying to learn as we went, but then I was also just doing other things while she was cooking. But yeah, food was phenomenal. So much of it. And yeah, it was delicious.
Perfect. Awesome.
What did Molly make?
Oh, okay. Molly, I told
Because it was
Molly,
just the two of you.
It was just the two of us this Christmas. My family came the week before, so we got to spend some time with the family. But Molly went above and beyond this year. Filet mignon.
Wow.
For Christmas, and it was delicious. I told her, I was like, "You set the bar way too high this year."
Did she grill it?
Yes. Well, she
That's
actually,
impressive.
she was pan fried.
Okay.
Filet, and it was like, I told her I
Way
didn't
out of
have
my
very
league.
high expectations. Like, no disrespect to her, but I'm like, it's Christmas. Like, you don't have to do. And like, I was a little under the weather. I'm like, just we don't have to do anything special. Filet mignon, roasted vegetables. It was cheesy potato. Like,
Oh, wow.
it was phenomenal. So shout out to Malls because it was 10 out of 10. So it was really good. A great Christmas. And you know what else is 10 out of 10? Going into a 3-game road trip on a 4-game winning streak. And that is exactly what the Tampa Bay Lightning are about to do.
That was a great transition.
Thanks.
Yes, Tampa Bay Lightning, 3-game road trip in California, Wednesday at Anaheim, Thursday at LA, Saturday at San Jose. And yes, Ben, this team must be feeling pretty confident considering 4-game win streak, and they won their first 2 games after the Christmas break, 2 games that were on a back-to-back that were not even 24 hours apart, with the Tampa Bay Lightning having to play at Florida, 7 o'clock start, and then here at home against Montreal, 5 o'clock start. Kind of crazy.
Nuts. And the guys talked about it in the room. 2 very, very different games. But as Coop said, you take the 4 points however they come. And I think you look at what those 2 games, how they went down. The Battle of Florida did not disappoint.
No,
I
it
think
didn't.
I think this game was probably the closest we saw to the madness of the preseason.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
Like we finally saw, I think, the emotions really boil over. We saw some of that madness, the physicality. Only 1 fight, right? But there was plenty of extra stuff in there. And I think the thing that stood out to me was Jake Gensel, right? Like at one point we saw him in the penalty box, John, I think with some fans even. But Gens was getting involved, and Nikita Kucherov, right? The 2 goals, and really kind of, I think,
Some big hits from Nikita Kucherov.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
On Mikula, that's a big dude,
Yeah.
right? But it was the goals too, right? Like Nikita Kucherov really, I think, established himself in that game early, took over, scored the big goal at the end too. The Lightning needed their big guys to take over that game. They did just that, and I think you can't overstate Vasilevsky in that game.
Right.
He was massive, made some big saves, particularly in that second period. And in the third period, too, Florida was pushing. And I think, especially at the start of that third period, Florida makes it 3-2, right? Brad Marchand scores on that power play. All of a sudden, it's 3-2, and then it's 6 straight minutes of penalty kill for the Lightning. Now, we're going to get into the penalty kill. The Lightning, 9 for 10. 9 for 10.
Say it again.
On the PK, which is the most successful night on the penalty kill in the NHL this season. The Tampa Bay Lightning took 26 penalties in that game against Florida. That is the most penalties in any game in franchise history. Their most in a game since 1997 when they took 24. And they threw in a shorthanded goal for good measure by Jake Gensel.
Why not?
The one that tied the game.
Why not?
Right? Now, the Lightning penalty kill is up to 85.3% this year. That's second best in the NHL. That penalty kill was not the sole reason they won the game, but it was pretty darn close. The penalty kill was phenomenal. Andrei Vasilevsky had 9 saves on the penalty kill alone. It was a phenomenal effort. We talked so much this year about the penalty kill, but I think when you zero in on that Florida game alone, Dan Heinout and that penalty kill group, they deserve a lot of credit for that win because, again, in the group that's missing a big group of what that usual penalty kill group is, because you're thinking they were missing Chernak, McDonough, and Hagel again for that game.
Yep.
A lot of guys stepped up. Like we talked about Gensel with a shorthanded goal. He played 27 minutes in that game, and he played a lot on the PK. Like guys had to step up, and they did.
Yeah. And that is part of what is going to help this Tampa Bay Lightning team, Ben, continue to have success on the road. Right now, their road record 11-4-3 versus an 11-9-0 record at home. So the Tampa Bay Lightning, again, they just continue to do things well when they are not here at Benchmark International Arena. I don't know if that's the sole reason, but it's part of it. Talk about the penalty kill. We have some injury updates.
Well, some good and some bad.
Good and some bad.
Right. We did get an update on the road. We saw Eric Chernak take the ice for the first time.
That was for the morning skate ahead of that game against Florida.
Right. Now, that's the first time we've seen Eric Chernak on the ice since November. So that's really good news for this team. We'll see what his status is. Now, Coop did say after that skate that he's trending toward playing hopefully on this California road trip. We'll see when that is, but that's great news for this team. Like we said, a lot of guys have stepped up on the back end. Speaking of that game the other night, we saw the NHL debut of Maxim Groshev, the former forward turned NHL defenseman who picked up his first NHL assist in that game. But a lot of guys have had to step up on the back end because guys like Eric Chernak and Ryan McDonough have missed time. But they'd love to get Eric Chernak back, and we'll see when that happens. Maybe it's as soon as Wednesday against Anaheim, which will be a big night in this organization, which we'll get to in a little bit. But Chernak may be coming back on this road trip. Unfortunately, though, Ryan McDonough was placed on IR once again.
That was on Sunday, yep.
Yes, so a couple of injury updates that way. Am I missing anybody else?
No. Ryan McDonough placed on IR Sunday. Jon Cooper was asked about him prior to that game against Montreal, and he said he's a little bit more than day-to-day. So take that for what you will.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he said we just have to get him right.
Yeah.
Right? And then,
So,
he's such a big part of this team.
To me, that means a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more than day-to-day.
And now that you say that, I did have to laugh when, typical Coop fashion, he kind of laughed and said, what if I told you he wasn't going to play again this year? Right? Because obviously 2025 ends in approximately, 3 days. So you could tell he was pretty proud of himself for that one.
That was a good one.
But so we'll see. I think obviously Mac was just returning from an injury, right? We saw him come back, play the one game.
Yep.
And he did confirm that it was that same injury. So he didn't sound too concerned, but obviously he's going back on IR, and we'll see when he comes back. But team's going to go out on this road trip, and we'll see when he's back. But Mac back on IR. Good news is hopefully we see Chernak come back on this road trip, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Ben, our final topic here. Jon Cooper. He will coach in his 1,000th NHL game on New Year's Eve in the game against the Anaheim Ducks. That takes place on Wednesday. Jon Cooper coached in his first ever NHL game on a Friday, March 29th versus the New Jersey Devils. March 29th, 2013, I believe. Does that sound right?
Yep.
And now he's at 1,000. I know, Ben, you are not new anymore, but still just getting acclimated with this whole organization with Jon Cooper. I've only ever known the Tampa Bay Lightning being coached by Jon Cooper. This is my 5th season. I mean, what do you think? He was asked prior to the game against Montreal about this milestone, and he said, ask me after it happens. Of course.
Typical, right?
Typical. But what do you think of this?
Honestly, it blows my mind, mostly because since I've been here, we've seen some players hit milestones like this, right? We just saw Ryan McDonough.
Yep.
Victor Hedman recently took the franchise record for games played. And I think when you talk to the players and you hear like how much it means to them and how hard it is for a player to hit this milestone, it's remarkable. And then you think about the coaches, and they talk about how many different coaches they've had over their career. And it's like, do you know how hard it is for a coach to keep a job in the NHL? Because it's hard to have success as a player in the NHL, but then for a coach to have success in the NHL, and then for a coach to have success in one place in the NHL, it's remarkable. And for like one number that really stood out to me, right? He's going to become the 5th coach in NHL history to coach 1,000 games with one franchise, all time. Now, he's one of the best to ever do it. That's no debate. Everybody would agree with that. And again, he didn't want to get into it post-game on Sunday. I can't wait to see this video tribute that we know is coming when the team returns. I'm guessing that'll be, January 6th against Colorado?
Correct.
Right? Is that the next home game?
Yep.
So I can't wait for that video because my first thought was, how many different people could you get for that video tribute? Because all the different lives that he's touched. And I won't get into it now, but I'm going to have a pretty cool story coming to the Tampa Bay Lightning website. It's going to have a pretty unique perspective on Coop's path to 1,000 games. And I'll leave it at that, but it should be fun. It's a great number for a guy who really deserves it, because I think when you talk to the people around Jon Cooper, he knows his X's and O's, but it's all about the people, right? Like, you go in the locker room and you ask the players, the coaches, everybody around him, they all want to talk about Jon Cooper, the person, way more than they want to talk about how much he knows about hockey, right? You look at Coop's Catch for Kids, all the different things he's done in the community. It's so much deeper than hockey for Jon Cooper, and the impact that he's had on the Tampa Bay community, I think, is just remarkable. And I'll leave you with maybe my favorite stat of the season so far. 594 wins through 999 career games. It's the most by any coach in 1,000 games with a single franchise in NHL history. It's not bad. He beats Al Arbor, who, by the way, one of the best coaches to ever do it. It's the second most by a coach in 1,000 games overall. That belongs to Scotty Bowman, which, again, pretty decent company there, too. So just a remarkable number for a pretty remarkable coach.
Ben, I wish I could travel, and this just adds to that. Like, I wish I could be there. We will obviously both be watching this game, but talking to Jon Cooper, whether it's at the skate before or post game, who knows when I'll actually be willing to chat about it. But like, I'm really bummed that I'm missing that. It's so exciting. I am a big Jon Cooper fan, always have been. And then just getting to work with him these past 5 seasons on this side, the team side, like, you couldn't ask for anyone better. I don't think, Ben, I'm giving away anything in your story, but this morning I came in and I helped our video team out with some interviews with those families, those people that have been touched by Jon Cooper on the side of honorary captain, Coop's Catch, etc. The Nugent family, Trippy, who was an honorary captain for the team, participated in Coop's Catch. He passed last season, last year, but his family, again, is just still so connected. And Weston Herman, who, again, has known Jon Cooper for the past, he said, about 8 years, battling cancer. And both parties like just couldn't say anything better. With Trippy Nugent, who again passed away, his family recalled the first time they met Jon Cooper. It was before they were the honorary captain. They were here in town, and they were out to dinner. And Jon Cooper wanted to pop on over. And they said he came over. He wasn't Jon Cooper. He was just a dad. He kneeled down next to Trippy, and he played tic-tac-toe with him. And like they've just been close ever since. Like those are the stories that you don't always hear. You don't always see. Jon Cooper not behind the Bolts bench, but like he's so much more than a head coach. And still, it's pretty amazing that he does it all when he is leading an organization like he has for a decade plus, for 1,000 games coming up, and the championships that he's won. Like, right, Ben, you always know that there's more behind that, but when you hear those stories, it's just pretty remarkable that is who we get to see, we get to work with, and who just leads this organization day in and day out so flawlessly. Like, I don't have the words, but like the stories are there. So when you get to hear other people share them, like, oh man.
Yeah, it is remarkable. And given what this team has overcome this year, I know everybody's dealing with injuries, and then the Lightning today are tied with Detroit, I believe it is, atop the Atlantic Division standings. But if the Lightning continue to do what they've done this year, can we get my guy a Jack Adams award? Like how this guy's never
I think
won.
our fans would.
How this guy's never
agree
won
with
an
that.
award as the top coach in the NHL with everything he's accomplished. And like I said, the numbers that I just spoke about as one of the best of all time is craziness. I know it's just an award and he really doesn't care about that kind of thing, but he's one of the best to ever do it. He's one of the best to ever do it. And he really doesn't care about the personal accolades, but he deserves to be honored in those same categories. So good for Coop. And I think we're both excited to see him get recognized, because this place is going to go nuts when he gets recognized for 1,000 games.
Yes, again, his 1,000th NHL game will come on Wednesday when the team is in Anaheim facing the Ducks. And then we are expecting a big old ceremony to honor that milestone when the team returns home. That game is January 6th. Boom. All right.
Let's do it.
Shall we move on? Our Blue Line segment. Guys, you've been so great. Not a lot of questions, but I think everyone's still like in holiday mode.
Yep.
Families in town, food, gifts. You're exhausted. Like, I get it. But we were able to pull two. Ben, we're going to start with this question from Gary. What's up with Dominic James? He hasn't been practicing with the team. We're going to get to that, Gary. Is he hurt again? Okay. We do believe he's been practicing with the team. Again, the team has been on the road in Florida. Neither Ben and I were there, but we did not hear that he was not present for the morning skate. The team did not have a morning skate ahead of the game against the Canadiens. But we did see him when he last played on December 22nd. That was that final game before the Christmas break, and he was out on the ice. He did participate in that game. But Ben, I really think it just comes down to currently Scott Sabourin left the game against Montreal after taking a punch to the head. But he last played on December 22nd. He hasn't played in the last two games, but that's because, again, if Scott Sabourin is hurt, 14 healthy forwards. Like, they just all can't get into these games.
Yeah, it's a lot of forwards right now. And by the way, I do have to, not to push another podcast on our podcast, but Elliot Friedman on the 32 Thoughts podcast today gives
I listened to it.
a lot of credit to the Tampa Bay Lightning and Scott Sabourin for what he's done in his limited time here with the Lightning this season. So, but as far as Dominic James goes, it really is, I think, just a matter of the matchups, right? We've talked a lot about these last two games against two divisional opponents, two teams fighting for that top spot in the division. You're facing Florida. I think everybody expected to see Sabourin and Douglas.
Yes.
Right? You figured both of those guys were going to be in the lineup.
Yep.
They both were. And again, I think the other part of it with James is, for a while there, he was hurt. And I think he's still a young guy figuring out the NHL, right? Like, we've heard Jon Cooper talk about, for these guys, whether over the years it's been James, Gonsalves, Geeky, go up and down the list, right? Like, sometimes they need to sit out a game to watch and just learn from a different view. It's good for these guys sometimes to just kind of reset and watch the game instead of playing. It just allows them to see the game in a different way. So you knew Dominic James was never going to play the full 82 games. That was never going to happen. But no, as far as both of us are concerned, we think he's healthy.
Yep. Healthy enough.
Right. To be in the lineup. I think we both expect him to probably play at some point in the road trip.
Yes.
I think that, like Coop has said multiple times this year, they don't like to keep guys out of the lineup for very long. I'm sure the lines will change, hopefully not because of injuries, knock on wood, but we'll see here.
Yep. I'm not worried about Dominic James. And Gary, you should not be either. All right.
Here we go.
Question from George.
George wants to know, Charles, as so many others do, where were you? We missed seeing Gabby Shirley on the broadcast.
Yeah.
The time has come.
I miss it too, George. But as I have, I guess not said enough, I'm sorry that you felt like you were out of the loop, but I cannot travel right now because this baby is coming. And Julie Stewart-Binks has taken over the reins as the reporter in our broadcast. So, as it stands at this point in time, again, sorry guys to either bore you or like have you roll your eyes because I've been talking a lot of baby talk recently. But at this point in time, this baby is coming January 8th, whether I like it or not. So that is why fill-in reporter for the broadcast, like I said, can't travel. She is here now, so there's no point in having Julie just go on a road trip, and there's not a ton of home games in January anyways. So I am around until the baby is here, but not in my normal role. We also, Ben, had a question about this lovely podcast. And I would love to say that I'm just going to, have that baby sleep when we record it every single Monday from here on out. But I don't know how it's going to work. So we're figuring out that part. The TV part has been figured out. Julie Stewart-Binks will be the reporter while I'm on maternity leave. I will be back for, God willing, this Tampa Bay Lightning lengthy playoff run come April. But she will be doing the rest of the regular season. And then things like Into the Blue, TBD. Do you think I answered that effectively? I feel like I'm all over the place.
Yes.
Okay. But Ben
yes.
will still be here.
I will still
He's
be
not
here.
going anywhere.
I'm so sorry, fans. You do not get a break from Benjamin Pierce. I am so sorry.
it.
I know you guys were hoping to get a break from me and not Gabby, but that is not the case. Yes, we will miss you.
I already missed you guys, and I'm still kind of around. Again,
But she's not gone yet. Yes, enjoy what time you have left of Gabby Shirley. She is not gone yet.
Guys, my husband wants to kill me every time the season ends, whether the Tampa Bay Lightning made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final or got kicked out in the first round. My phrase is, oh my gosh, I feel so lost. I said it to Chris Krenn just yesterday. When the role changes, it's a little weird, but it's going to be okay.
You'll be a fantastic mother, though.
Yeah, it's going to be.
We can't wait for this. We can't wait for this.
Thank you. All right. Shall we give our...
we should give our plus and minuses. But first,
Yes.
we have to give a shout out to our wonderful sponsor, Penelope Bourbon. This season, Penelope Bourbon is a proud partner of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Whether you're cheering at Benchmark International Arena or you're raising a glass at home, Penelope brings fans together. That's one pour, one moment, one win at a time. You can find us at Publix or right here in the arena. Go Bolts. And as I was telling Steve Versnick, I was a little bit under the weather over the holidays, so I didn't have as much Penelope Bourbon as I planned to.
But you had some?
I had some. And there is a couple-day break here before our next game, so I plan to have...
You might have some more.
Maybe some more watching some Monday Night Football, because playoff implications are in full swing now here as the NFL season comes to a close. So we'll see. But thank you, Penelope Bourbon. And with that, we will go on to our plus-minus.
You want to start us off?
I will. My plus-minus is...
Your plus. All right.
Yes, of course. Plus, we're going to give a great shout-out to Tampa Bay Lightning General Manager Julien Brisebois for that fantastic contract to J.J. Moser. $6.75 million for 8 years is a fantastic contract for defenseman J.J. Moser and this Lightning team. I know that sometimes you look at the projected contracts and deals coming out like this summer and throughout the year. What's a guy worth? What are some of maybe the deals going to look like? What would happen if they were to hit the open market? He's a restricted free agent. Does that impact things at all? And then we saw the injuries at the start of the year. How's he going to respond to more ice time? What's different things going to look like? JJ Moser, all his stock has done since October is this. Like, he has every challenge that he has been handed this year, he's excelled. As of this morning, he's 5th in the NHL in plus minus. He's 2nd among defensemen, behind only Cale Makar. He leads the Lightning this season in time on ice. He's tied for 2nd in points with Charles-Edouard Dastou and Victor Hedman. He's been phenomenal. And I think at both ends of the ice, we talked to Rob Zettler and Coop have both referred to him as, quote, the eraser this season. I know we've heard lots of fun nicknames this year for guys. The eraser, I don't know where that I don't know where the eraser came from, but Moser, I think, has been such, like, last year he was good, right? We had the injury and we were kind of like at the start of this year we weren't sure, but in some ways I think he's been even better since he returned from that injury early in the year. And he leads the defense this year in games played. I just think I've been so impressed with the steadiness of JJ Moser's game and the fact that you're able to get him signed for 8 years. And remember, when this season ends, you're not going to be able to offer players 8-year contracts because of the new CBA. The fact that you're able to lock him up for that extra contract term is a massive deal for this team. So my plus is the fact that this contract gets done. I think it's a fantastic deal for the player and the team. And at the end of the day, JJ Moser said, I wanted to be here. The team wanted him to be here. It's a fantastic deal for all sides. And I mean, we both love talking to JJ Moser. He's a fantastic get. And I just think it's a fantastic situation.
That is such a good plus.
Thank you.
I'm sorry if I was being distracted and or not fully engaged there, Ben, because it made me rethink my plus. I can't believe we didn't put that in our topics right off the bat, but we always try to look ahead. So I'm so glad you got it into the podcast. So well-deserved. So happy for him and his family. And that, again, made me rethink my plus, and I got confirmation, and I'm just going to go with it right here. Okay. JJ Moser, we got to meet his family this summer, Ben, when we were shooting our Bolts Beginnings, and that reminded me that Bolts Beginnings, it's out. Our first one from this summer, the first one coming out, everyone, Jonas Johansson. It's on YouTube.
Is that live?
Told.
Today?
I am told. I am looking at my phone right now. It is on YouTube, so go watch it.
Wow.
We will be posting about it on social today, Monday, at 6 p.m.
Let's go.
So get ready, fans. I know you've been waiting for these episodes. They just get better and better. So, JJ Moser, the big contract, his Bolts Beginnings will be coming out later. However, our first one of this season, Jonas Johansson, it's out today. That's my plus.
That's exciting. I've heard nothing but good things. I've heard the JJ one was really good.
Can
I say JJ when they're both JJ?
Yeah,
The Johansson one is really good. I've heard.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're both great, but I've heard Johansson turned out really great. So
Yes.
I can't wait to see it.
I mean, he is just a phenomenal individual, and going back to see where he came from, Sweden,
Can't wait.
I haven't even seen it yet.
That's a good plus.
But yes, that is my plus.
Awesome.
All right, your minus.
Okay, my minus is we talked about Coop 1000th game. That game's on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve.
Yep.
And I have no idea where 2025 went.
That's your minus?
My minus is
Flew by?
how is it 2026?
It's kind of crazy.
I have no idea where the last year went, and I guess that could be a good thing or a bad thing because I guess time flies when you're having fun. But yeah, my minus is I don't know where the last year went, and we lost some organs along the way. See you later to my gallbladder. But let's hope that 2026 is a great year. But yeah, I don't know. My minus is 2025. See you later, I guess. That was a crazy fast year. So thank you to all of our listeners who we're along for the ride in 2025. I can't believe we're somehow already on our last podcast at 2025.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's insane.
It's wild. Again, Ben, it's always hard for me to pick a minus.
It is. I know. I was battling today.
Life is good. But my minus is that, as I said, guys, Julie Stewart-Banks, who's going to be wonderful for you. She is taking my spot as the reporter in the broadcast. So I am done with that role. And this is a plus that I'm turning into a minus. But New Year's Eve, we do have a game. Big game for Jon Cooper. Team is in Anaheim. While I am not there in the reporter role, I'm going to be filling in for Paul Kennedy in the hosting role. So that's a big plus, but it's also a minus because that will officially be my final TV thing before this baby arrives. So yeah, that's my minus. It's going to be a great game for me because I've been filling in for Paul Kennedy in the national broadcasts because we've been doing a pregame show for Scripps. I will actually be filling in for him for the full game, which is really exciting and kind of scary. But the minus part is that will officially be my final TV appearance. Yeah.
Wow.
Until, again, postseason, Tampa Bay Lightning, long run,
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, hopefully when you come back, you're traded to a long playoff run.
I know. I will be, right?
Let's hope so.
Yeah. We got this.
All right, let's do it.
All right, guys. I guess we'll wrap it up there.
Let's do it.
Gosh. Into the blue.
Into the
See you
blue
next week.
and out of here.